Welcome back to another episode of Research in Rabbit Holes with your girl, Lauren Nicole, your cousin, sister, friend, and your friendly neighborhood librarian. Today, I wanted to talk about how you can support your local public library, specifically through book sales. So I actually wanted to give a shout out to my local public library, which is the Jacksonville Public Library, and to their friends of the library. So if you remember in episode 1, when we talked about what is a library, we talked a little bit about what the Friends of the Library is, which is a group that supports the efforts of the library. And you can become a member of the Friends of the Library of your local public library if you like. And so the Friends of the Public Library for Jacksonville's Public Library is having a big book sale. They do this every so often because they actually have their own location. Okay, so I want to give some details about it for anybody who's local to Jacksonville and surrounding areas, or anybody who might be in town next weekend. And I also wanted to share a cool new resource that I found while I was doing some digging around about book sales, right? Because you might not be from Jacksonville and maybe you want to figure out how to support your local library and figure out when they have book sales. So stay tuned. All right, so the upcoming event is called the Big Bag Book Sale. It's going to be Thursday, February the 19th through Saturday, February the 21st at the Friends Warehouse store located on University Boulevard. Now I'm going to post the address here for ease. Okay, so the Big Bag Book Sale consists of movies, some records, some DVDs, and some other physical items that you can go in and purchase. These things are materials that either were once in circulation at any of the branches. When we remove items from the shelf in a library, we typically will call it weeding or deselection. Okay, that's just because books can't live on the shelf forever, right? And so there is a checklist of criteria that once we mark all the boxes, we decide, okay, these items can move along, and it depends on how old that item is and how frequently that item might be being used or not being used. So if something has been sitting on the shelf for 10 years or more and it has very low usage statistics, it will probably be weeded, right? So different library systems have different ways to handle their weeded items, but some library systems will save them and give the public the opportunity to actually purchase them. And through those proceeds, they can then do more programs and activities in the library for the public. So this is a great way to give back, but also be able to have more things available to you to engage in with your library. It is also common for donated materials to be included in these book sales. So you may have people who were part of the community who dropped off a load of books or records or CDs or movies to the library. And then the Friends group can also use those materials as a way to raise funds for the library. So you have some things that were on the shelf and some things that were donated, and they have been looked through. Now, every library system does not accept donations, or there might be periods where they will accept some, and then the periods where they are not accepting donations at that time. They do have to go through the donations to determine the condition and the relevance and, different kinds of things. So things aren't necessarily just accepted from donors and immediately placed back in, to be available for the public. Okay. So you can find out from your local public library if they're accepting donations at this time, or if that Friends group is accepting donations, if you have some items that you would like to give away and not necessarily throw away. Okay. So for the Big Bag Book Sale on Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. is the members only night, and members will receive a paper bag. The Friends group is providing the bags, and for $12, Friends members can go in and fill that bag to capacity and get buy one, get one on those bags, which is a great deal. And if you're not a member of the Friends, you can purchase a 2026 membership for $25 at the door. So And $25 is not bad for access to a warehouse of materials. Matter of fact, I'm going to post a picture here so you can see what it looks like. And who knows, you may come across some really cool gems in the process of sifting through books. And I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely nerd out when I'm surrounded by shelves of books. Okay, so I'm excited. Now on Friday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., members and non-members alike have access to the book sale. So again, members have that BOGO offer of buy one, get one free, but the bags will be $15 on Friday and Saturday. And for non-members, it's going to be $15 per bag. But if you purchase 2 bags for $15 each, you can get a 3rd bag for free. Now that is amazing because again, this is fill that bag to capacity. And with the cost of books, honestly, that's still a major deal and it's for a great cause. So take advantage of that big book sale. But also this isn't the last sale. They do the big bag book sale every so often. You just have to keep your eye out. If you have your public library card, if you're subscribed to your newsletter, then you should be getting emails. And if not, then maybe we want to change that. Okay. But you can also check out the library website, jackspubliclibrary.org, to see what book sales are coming up. So aside from the big book sale, some of the individual branches will also have their own book sale. So keep your eye out for that. Now, I wanted to go back to the Friends Warehouse store just to point out that, again, for my Jacksonvillians, the Friends Warehouse store is open during the week for limited hours on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And if you want more information, you can go to their website. I'll post it here at fjpl.org. Okay. Now, for those of you who are not in the Jacksonville area and you want to support your local library and you want to take advantage of a book sale, I found this website called booksalefinder.com. And I'm actually going to walk you through it really quickly because you can find book sales in your city and state throughout the continental US. I looked through and I saw that it's mainly public libraries, but I also saw that it's some community libraries and even churches. So there are some other institutions that are participating and holding book sales. And because it's late winter, we're going into early spring, it's a great time for book sales. And there are a few coming up very, very quickly. So if you're seeing this video, you want to go ahead and go to booksalefinder.com and find a book sale near you. Now let's look at this website. Okay, so this is that web page of the main page of booksalefinder.com. It does have a lot of ads, but we really just want to focus on the United States map here. And it allows you to either click on a state on the map or click on one of the state links underneath the map. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger here to make it a little easier to see. And I'm going to choose Georgia. So scrolling down in this left-hand column, you can see month by month which cities have book sales going on. And it also highlights which of the major book sales are going on in different areas. So even though I did select Georgia, it's still highlighting some of the really big book sales that are located in some of the other cities. And so it'll say huge sale or 50,000 plus books, or you see big sale going on in Citrus Springs, Florida, and those kinds of things. As you continue to scroll down this page, it categorizes the cities by bookstores, ongoing sales, and even future sales. So you see those highlighted areas where those are going to be big sales. That those might be either annual or biannual, maybe even quarterly sales going on in those areas. And so I chose Lithonia, Georgia, just to kind of give an example. And this was not one of the big sales. So they're not having a book sale until September. So I'm just going back and navigating through the pages here. So I clicked on Atlanta for the Dunwoody area just to look at another example. And I see that they have a book sale going on in March and also in September. It'll tell you the dates and the times that that book sale is happening. You can join friends at the door, and it'll just give you some details about that book sale. They have over 10,000 books. 60% of them have been donated. 60% are hardcover. Your paperbacks are $1. Your hardcovers are $2. And they don't have any children's books. So that's really interesting. So with each of the selections, you'll have details on that book. Now I'm going back to the map and I'm choosing Florida, my home state, and I'm going to choose my hometown, Jacksonville, for some details of the book sale. So we see here, it says February 20th through the 21st. Now, remember, I told you the 19th is for the Friends members, but here are the details again, the dates and the times, no buyer restrictions, and it lets you know that there is a bookstore that has regular hours outside of book sale events. Key West has one in March. Kissimmee will have one in August, right? So look through the map for your state and your city. And even if you are traveling to a different area and you want to patronize a public library or a community center or a church in a different city or state, check out this website and see where a book sale is happening near you or near a place where you plan to go and support your institutions. Okay, so that's all I have for you today, but I hope that you go and find a book sale near you happening soon. And please, please, please support your local library, okay? Remember that these are spaces for us. These are our last third spaces, if you will, and we need to support them as they continue to support us so that we can continue to have programs and activities and use the library as a space and as a place. So, and also to continue to have access to resources so that we can do research and we can go down rabbit holes, okay? So I'll catch you guys next time.